What's up, everybody? It's Jeff Kassouf here with the Women's World Cup Daily on EqualizerSoccer.com, presented by North American Soccer Network. It's July 10th. I think a lot of people in the U.S. That care about soccer will probably remember this day quite well, to be completely frank. The U.S. Women's National Team, obviously, if you haven't heard, you've probably been under a rock at this point, but they come away with the penalty kick victory over Brazil in the heavyweight battle that absolutely lived up to the epic dogfight that I think that it was meant to be, that it was going to be, and it came out to be. So 2-2 going into PKs. The U.S. wins 5-3 on penalties. Ali Krieger finishing the last of them. Hope Solo in the third round there, getting the save on Diane, and honestly still struggling to put fully into words what we saw. I do think, as you can read below in some of the pieces I wrote, post-game reaction, I think there's a lot of intangibles, to be honest, and not necessarily things that we can put our fingers on. I think leadership and experience was in play here with the U.S. I think really just a determination. It sounds cheesy, it sounds cliche, but it really it was there. You're talking about a team down to 10 players for the better part of 45 minutes, essentially, with extra time, or more than that, actually, 55 minutes, and they never looked like they were down a player. I think they actually played better in the second half than they did in the first part of that half without Rachel Buehler. And nothing against Rachel Buehler, who had a great game up until that red card, but they just had that determination in them. The red card, obviously a huge talking point. My initial reaction was absolutely not. I don't think that it was a foul. The question there, and obviously this is a very controversial topic that a lot of people have chimed in on already. If it is a foul, obviously it is a red card, it is a PK, be denying a goal-scoring opportunity as the last player. But that is, again, if it is a foul. I don't know that it was for me personally, at least on the first couple views. And the only angle I've seen that I would change my mind on is the reverse angle, where Buehler has a little bit of the jersey of Marta as they go down. But the ref certainly didn't have that view. And from the ref's view that we saw initially, I didn't think that it was a PK. I thought it was a 50-50 shoulder challenge. Then the red card, if it is a foul, obviously, then that's just. But then taking the PK over, because it looked like encroachment on, it seems like Christy Rampone, who otherwise had a stellar match, but just a wild sequence of events, really. The way that went down, you could see the headlines, really. It was just, the U.S. has been screwed. It seemed to be kind of the general sentiment, but I think the key here is that I don't think those players ever thought that. I think they were pissed. I think they were very upset, but I don't think at any point that those players on that U.S. team were out there thinking, crap, we just got screwed by the ref. I think they were thinking, we need to get this result, and that's exactly what they did. They go down within less than 2 minutes in extra time. Marta gets her second, and all of a sudden it's looking pretty rough for the U.S. But Abby Wambach with an absolutely incredible header to win the game. If you haven't seen it, we just got to cut to that right now. Let's check out that sequence, which looks a lot, almost eerily, like the U.S. men in the World Cup last year in South Africa on that death, at the death there, at the whistle, when Landon Donovan scores against Algeria. Same build-up, goes full field. Wambach even slides at the corner flag. It was kind of eerie. So let's check out Wambach's goal right now.
This is for the corner, and Andrea just comes up with a big, big save.
And this, the latest goal in World Cup history.
No one else existed on the field but Abby Wambach and that ball.
Don't take any credit away from Rapinoe, because she had some bad touches in this game, but when she had to make a great touch, this is a phenomenal cross.
And just in case you need some reminding, let's just take a quick look at that Landon Donovan goal from last year.
Distribution, brilliant. Landon Donovan, there are things on here for the USA. Can they do it here? Cross, and Dempsey is denied again, but Donovan has scored! Oh, can you believe this? Go, go, USA! nearly through. Oh, it's incredible. You could not write a script like this.
So yeah, definitely pretty similar there. But you know, it's an incredible victory for the U.S. I think it's one that, you know, that team really needed. Unfortunately, these are both countries that needed to win beyond just winning this World Cup. You know, Brazil, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about them needing some reform with the federation on the women's side, some more support on the women's side. And I think if you look at, you know, if you were looking at a Brazil winning this Women's World Cup, that reform could have come. So crashing out in the quarterfinals is certainly rough for them. And then the U.S., I mean, should they have gone out, I think we all know what the media attention would have been. And the sad part about that would have been, it would have been immediate media attention, followed by probably, you know, back to being nothing. But this victory clearly has kind of captivated a nation. I mean, it's all over SportsCenter, it's all over ESPN, which has been doing a great job of covering this event. And you know, people, NBA players, NFL players, celebrities, everybody seemed to be watching this game. It's all over the internet, and you know, it's just really still something that I think hasn't quite set in for a lot of people. I know it really hasn't totally set in for me. Job's not done, obviously. France in the semifinal on Wednesday, so you know, there's certainly some dramatics for the U.S. They're not short on that. So let's just check out the full highlights, though, because there was obviously a lot of game played before this. U.S. gets on the board less than 2 minutes in. Really interesting that Shannon Box gets wide here, which is where the space is against that Brazilian back line. And you see it. The two marking backs are occupied by Wambach and Rodriguez. Sweeper's just sitting in there. Tons of space on the outsides. Box takes that space, long ball from Rampone, and it's in there. So just take a look at the full highlights from this match.
A moment, yes, a quarterfinal, not the final, but as far as drama, certainly the equal. Brazil, an own goal in the second minute, as Shannon Box will create the problems, and Diane just bundles it into her own net.
Well, it was following the game plan. Long diagonal ball. Box got on the end of it, served it. The goalkeeper kind of messed up Diane, and it ends up in the back of the net. USA takes the lead.
Now, we go to the second half. Megan Rapinoe's delivery for Carly Lloyd off the crossbar, so it's still 1-0, and then Marta on the attack 2 minutes later.
This is what Marta does best. She baits the defenders to get close to her. She puts the ball over Rachel Bueller's head, and then they have a wrestling match over it. In our opinion, no penalty kick, but that's what Marta does best.
Penalty kick is taken. Hope Solo with the save, but immediately it becomes apparent, cutting short the celebration, there's going to be a re-kick taken. Was it encroachment?
Well, I've never seen it. It is encroachment by the exact law. I've never seen it called that tightly.
The save was made. We weren't sure. We still are not officially sure exactly why. Solo got the caution, we assume, for dissent, and then Marta steps up. And her 13th career World Cup goal. And so, at this point, it's certainly game on. We're in extra time. Is this onside?
This is a good question. In the replay, we see that Amy Lepelvet may have kept Maureen onside. Again, the AR's decision. She's watching the ball and not staying with the line. And now Shannon Box is looking back at the AR saying offside. And Marta gets a little bit of separation. And look at that. Marta is the best at making something
out of nothing. You can't take eyes off Marta in the penalty area. And Shannon Box was victimized.
She ties Birgit Prins as the all-time scorer. Now we're in the 98th minute, and Abby Wambach.
Wambach strikes this for the corner, and Andrea just comes up with a big, big save.
And this, the latest goal in World Cup history.
No one else existed on the field but Abby Wambach and that ball.
Don't take any credit away from Rapinoe, because she had some bad touches in this game, but when she had to make a great touch, this is a phenomenal cross onto Abby Wambach's head.
We do have to say Brazil did not finish the game. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And the game tactics, not very good.
I don't even want to talk tactics.
Let's talk penalty kick. Shannon Box.
Solid.
On the retake. So she converts, and so the keeper moved early. That was retaken. USA up 1-0. Cristiani.
The Brazilians are so good at making you think they're going one way and they go another. That's a simple pass in the back of the net.
Carly Lloyd.
No doubt Lloyd was going to drive it.
Marta to a chorus of boos. She lost the crowd here today. 2-2.
But showed her mental toughness getting up there and finishing it very smartly.
Abby Wambach, the third shooter, in a 3-2 U.S. lead.
Couldn't have been any closer to the side. With precision, she put that
Yours
back
was
in the
closer in 99.
And there it is. Diane's shot saved by Hope Solo on the third PK, just as Bryce Scurry did on the third against China. Rapinoe made it 4-2. Brazil had to stay alive. It was Franciel.
A simple, again, make Hope Solo lean one way, a simple pass into the back of the net.
And then Ali Krieger.
How about her poise here? She just slots this. I guess playing in Germany, you get a kind of a German mindset about penalties.
The steely resolve of the Germans tested last night by the Japanese. This nation gutted by the exit of their women. I wonder by the way the crowd sentiment at that stadium today started to roll behind the United States. Certainly on paper, they're the favorite.
And honestly, I mean, Rampone was great on the day. I think she was the player of the match for me. Probably a close second being Ali Krieger, who was incredible in defense all day. And then obviously stepped up, cool as ice, finished that fifth PK for the U.S. So, really just it is surprising in the way that it went down. It's not surprising that the U.S. won, obviously. I think this was a toss-up. Said that leading into the game. Said we could have PKs, and obviously we got exactly that. So not surprising there, but definitely the way things went down were just truly incredible. So interesting stuff there. We'll have more on that throughout the week, obviously, and building up to France, and then whether the U.S. is playing Saturday or Sunday, we'll obviously be building up to that as well. Not to be forgotten is the early game, which was probably, unfortunately, the least interesting game of the three, the only one that did not go to overtime in the quarterfinals. Sweden beats Australia 3-1. Australia really never in this game, never very convincing. The back line continued to be a nightmare for the Matildas, unfortunately. But Sweden's hot right now. They're unbeaten. They're the only unbeaten team left. So, that'll be interesting to see if they can continue that against Japan, which I think is going to be the stiffest test yet. So let's check out those highlights. 3-1 Sweden over Australia.
Sweden and Australia, and Sweden was in gear. The Australian defense decidedly was not. This the 11th minute.
You cannot give a player like Shaylin time and space to take you on there. Poor defending from Australia.
16th minute.
And here's Sjogren, not to be outdone by Shaylin. She also beats Perry, finds Dahlquist wide open in the center of the penalty area. 2-0.
Out of nowhere, though, Elise Perry makes amends.
As we said, the Elise Perry show here, a lovely left-footed shot. We call it the pigeonhole, and pick that out, keeper.
And we wondered if there'd be a comeback like the 2007 quarterfinal against Brazil with a giveaway by the defense.
Yeah, that's kind of contagious in the Australian back four giveaway.
And obviously yesterday, Japan upsetting Germany 1-0 in absolutely shocking fashion. And then France goes through over England on penalty kicks, which was just another incredible match. So really, we were blessed with 4 incredible quarterfinals. Hopefully we get the same out of the semifinals. I think we will. And you can check out a lot more here on EqualizerSoccer.com. I know there's a lot of new folks out there, new to women's soccer, new to the site. Thank you for checking it out, and I hope you can continue to check back. I think you'll find a lot of good resources, I hope at least. And feel free to comment, feel free to check it out, and spread the word, because I think today was a very big day for women's soccer in this country for sure. But until tomorrow, until next time, I'm Jeff Kassouf with EqualizerSoccer.com. This is the Women's World Cup Daily, presented by North American Soccer Network. Thanks for tuning in, and rest up after a very draining day.